Good afternoon, welcome. We join us to stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Again, welcome. First thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes from March the 17th, 2015.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then the approval of payroll, September 21st and October the 5th, 2015.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And the approval of claims, September 17th, September 24th, and October the 1st, 2015.
So moved.
Second. And a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And the employee benefit fund distribution for September 2015.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Just a couple quick announcements. Our next scheduled meeting is for October the 20th. We're not going to meet on October the 20th, but we're going to meet on October the 27th, because the next scheduled meeting after that is November 3rd, which is Election Day, and we're going to cancel that meeting. So the 20th meeting is moved to the 27th, and the 3rd meeting will not happen because of Election Day. Okay? All righty. And while I'm on stuff that's not on the agenda, I need a motion to approve the settlement we arrived at in executive session on September the 15th with the, well, what would be the best way to say who we're settling with, Betty? It's the trailing liabilities fund from the hospital will be the payor to negotiations resulting from a class action suit that we are indemnifying CHS according to our community health systems, according to our contract with them, in the amount of $242,631. So I need a motion to approve that in this session.
I will make the motion.
Motion.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. ATN Technology Incorporated, an additional vendor for the jail security system. Is Mike here? I don't see him. Then we'll use that in the form of an announcement as they are being allowed to bid on the project as well.
Right.
Okay. Dave Hollenbeck, Park Department Grant Ordinances. There he is.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
We are here again, we meaning Walter and I, with an effort to ask you to, in this case, create 3 funds. As you remember, at the suggestion of our auditor and in consultation with the State Board of Accounts, when we get grants in, there's a desire to separate those grant funds into separate funds that you establish for auditing and accounting purposes. And this is an exciting time. Walter, as I've told you before, has the ability to find money hanging on trees here, and this involves 3 different sources of funding: the Bicentennial Nature Trust, the Conservation Fund, and
The Coastal and Estuarine Conservation Land Program.
for a total of
Approximately $850,000 or $880,000.
$880,000 for land acquisition. This will be used to purchase the Kane property in Pine Township. We're asking you to establish the funds, so that will trigger the money coming in. The funds will not have money in it very long. We hope to close on the purchase by the end of the month, or the first week in November, and the county will have acquired an additional
137 acres.
137 acres of potential park property.
And just pretty much directly across the street from Brink Across, isn't it?
It's about 1.5 miles to the east down Old Chicago Road.
Out in the country, that's pretty much across the street.
Fair enough. Understood.
Let's just say it will add ample parking to the Brink Across issue.
Very good, that's quite an accomplishment. I just hope you don't have to put all those names of those trusts into one acronym, because that's...
No.
Okay. Questions?
No.
Hey, this ground that you're buying, is it just gonna be nature, or is there gonna have to be mowing that you're gonna have to do, or what's the upkeep like on it?
It's going to be a little bit new to us. It's not going to be turf grass at all. The Conservation Fund is the most restrictive of the grants. That fund dictates that the property has to be maintained for migratory bird habitat. So we've had to work with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to develop a maintenance and rehabilitation plan for the property. So this is going to be in conjunction with the Department of Natural Resources, with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, with the Conservation Fund, other agencies to really make this more of a spot for migratory birds to stop over and rest and get sustenance before they fly south.
We have trails through it, or blinds that you can...
There's going to be some trails, but again, they were very restrictive. We actually advocated for some more, and they reduced the amount. So from a maintenance perspective, it's better. Of course, our cohorts at tourism would love to see more so that we could promote it more, but it's going to be a very passive facility.
Great. Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Go get your money.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Resolution for design build process. We're going to do that at the next meeting. We're going to hold off on that right now. And I see Mike Jabel walked in. Do you want to talk about ATM technology, Mike, or do you have anything that you wanted to talk about on the jail security system, or the new vendor, or anywhere?
Well, we will change this middle date since you changed your meeting.
Okay.
It was originally scheduled 20th. We'll give them the extra week. I was approached by ATN Technologies. I consulted with county attorney. She felt they could be invited so long as you made that declaration at your meeting.
Okay. We'll do that, and we'll move their submittal date back to our meeting on the 27th.
Right. And how many bidders is that now? 5? Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. All right. We have a change order. Why don't we do those now? And substantial completion for Maris and Sons regarding the roof replacement at the museum and the expo center.
Yeah, you should have 4 documents. One maybe bit. There are 2 change orders and 2 substantial certificates of substantial completion. The substantial completion is for the expo roof replacement project, and also for the Museum of History. We've inspected and found that they completed the work in substantial accordance. There'll also be a final inspection list. Then you have 2 change orders to tidy up some extra work. I apologize, Stephen was not available, but the best I can tell in there, these represent decreases, even though the one has an attachment of increase. There were some contingency allowances in the contract. My hunch is he's just trying to balance some of that up.
Okay.
So you have 4 documents before you. We recommend that you approve.
Is there a motion? Questions?
I'll make the motion.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second for the change orders. All of those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I assume that includes the 2 substantial completion documents?
Yes.
And then as far as the ATN Technologies, I think the county attorney said you got to put that in a form of a motion that you're...
Oh, they did it before you got here.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. Thank you, Commissioners.
Hey, Mike, when you get your final completion on your punch list, when they're completed, could you forward a copy of that?
Sure.
So I have a record of that, we have a record of that?
Sure.
Just want to make sure we're chasing that.
On the one document, there is more of a checklist.
Yeah, I saw it there, yeah. Just when it's all completed, just so we know. Because that'll trigger the warranty and some other things, right?
As soon as you sign your final completion document, yes.
Okay.
Warranty period start.
Good.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a
Thank you,
good
Thanks,
Mike.
Mike.
Ralph Neff, Mechanical Concepts, proposal agreement for the Sheriff's Department VAV box, maintenance and evaluation. You want to come on up, Ralph? In doing a lot of the other work at the jail, they were kind of chasing around, following what the jailers were telling them was problems here, there, and everywhere, and we came to the conclusion that it'd probably be better just to have an agreement for these boxes. So, you want to, I don't know if Laura understands, or if anybody doesn't understand what a VAV box is and how they function, maybe, or just why they need attention.
I could use a little tutoring on that.
We've been spending a little bit of time at the jail recently. We just brought out the new chiller and the chiller bundle from a contract we had about 3 months ago, so we set that yesterday, and we're starting to pipe that up. But getting inside the jail, the VAV box is a box that goes like above the ceiling here, and it opens, closes like a damper to let in hot air, cold air.
Okay.
And to the best of our knowledge, those boxes have not been maintained for a couple of years. We've got filters that go in them, and they're all moldy.
They're moldy, is that what you
Moldy.
said?
They haven't been changed in a long time. So we recommend there's like 40 boxes, and the sheriff wants us to go through them, check the operation of them, make sure they open and close, make sure they tie back into the computer system, and change the filters on them.
Were there a lot of was it a lot of the motor gears that were stripped out? Because those are usually Honeywells, right, that are in there, or is it?
They're all, they're not motor gears, they're pneumatic.
Oh, okay.
Pneumatic operators that open and close the dampers. And it all has to do with static pressure
Okay.
inside the boxes.
So this is a one-time, you go through them all
We
and...
go through them and we do a report on them and tell the sheriff or you guys what's wrong with them and what they need to be updated. We know there's been a lot of changes done to them in the last couple of years, and we're not sure if they got the right operators on them or even the right filters inside of them. We know there's not air blowing through them because we had an emergency call this morning about that one of the pods this morning, they weren't getting enough air.
I thought they were getting too much. They said it was 64 degrees.
It was cold, yeah. That tells me that the dampers were stuck open somewhere.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second for the proposed agreement. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Very good. Thanks, Ralph. And whatever they need to do to fix whatever the current problem is.
We're out there now.
Okay.
Take care of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ralph.
Okay. Office holders and department heads. Sharon Lippens, ITS Director. We're going to receive and open quotes for copy machine hardware maintenance, desktop network printers, maintenance toner, use of the Port County government buildings. Then we're going to talk about Videotech agreement, camera for elections counting room attached to voters registration. So, we have some bids to open.
We do. I've never done this before. So when you look like do I just open them?
Yeah, if you'll open them and hand them to Michelle as you...
I'm guessing there's 3 copies of the same one.
There's supposed to be a 20-page aid and video.
This first one is from Advanced Imaging Solutions of Maryville, Indiana. Do you want me to read a number, or is it going to be...
It may be subjective depending on what they're
Yeah.
quoting.
Why don't we just announce who the bidders are? We'll give them to you to review. Oh.
They were just 3 copies of the same thing.
Okay. So this again is Advanced Imaging Solutions of Maryville, Indiana. And how much time do you need to review them?
We were scheduled to award at the next meeting, which can wait till the rescheduled meeting on
To the 27th, okay.
I did have one question. I did get an email from one vendor this morning that I already accepted to quote that said that they forgot that yesterday was the deadline and didn't know if they could still quote. I said, well, you can submit it. It'll be at the commissioner's discretion whether they choose to accept a late bid or not.
Yeah, well, they
So
can,
I would let you know that if that did get turned in,
well, we'll defer to your judgment. If it's considerably less, we may rebid, but we won't be able to accept it just on its value of being less. This is from Adams Remco. Those are the only two, so,
they must have chose not to submit them.
or they couldn't get it together.
That could be,
Okay, that's it, just those two?
yeah.
Okay. Video tech agreement, camera for the election. This is for the counting room. I thought there was a camera there already.
There is, it was put in place, I believe, in 2005 or 2006, so it is extremely outdated. It is really not working any longer and needs to be upgraded and replaced. The best replacement would be to replace it with the like systems that we have in the county now, be it this camera, the camera we have at the garage gate, where the video is recorded and archived and stored at the commissioner's discretion, and then whenever anybody needs to request it, we can preserve that video back, rather than having it be a standalone unit that nobody's really monitoring or backing up. So basically, this is just adding a camera, because the camera that's there now is old and analog, so this would be adding a new digital camera, as well as the license for the software that we already own that monitors all the cameras and records it.
Who's going to buy the camera?
We will pay for it out of CCD commissioners,
All right. Do we need a motion to that effect?
$1388.91.
Is it wireless? Is it
No,
wireless?
it's a wired camera.
Okay. So is there a motion for the video tech agreement?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Heidi Childers, maintenance, alternative energy solutions, Colford JDC, American Fire Company proposal for alarm detection system, sprinkler system, JDC, no, where's that one? Jaya?
I'm sorry.
American Fire Company proposal for alarm detection, what building's that for?
That's actually for North County, the administration, and the courthouse, and the jail.
Alternative Energy Solutions, quote, what's that on?
The generator at JDC.
Oil change for $1,500, is that what it is?
No, they changed, it's for the flush the radiator, they need to change the belt, the hoses that go to the radiator, and the batteries that are in it, to make sure it stays running. They recommend it, they said, for a little bit now, but give a quote for all of it. The belts are getting torn apart, and the hoses themselves got cracks in them.
Has it been an ongoing problem there for that generator?
Yep.
And it seems to me this is like the second or third or fourth time that we've done this. Why don't we get bids on replacing the generator instead of putting Band-Aids on it continually, because that's all we're doing with that thing. So, what's the quote for this time? How much?
The quote was sent to you guys, we didn't get the quote, I believe it was like $39.70.
Yeah, the last time it was 42, and the time before that was 45. A yearly check under a maintenance agreement probably save us that much per year, I think. So, go ahead and get bids or quotes from.
Okay.
Okay, then the American Fire Company proposal for the buildings, alarm detection system and sprinkler system. You had any other quotes, or just from the American Fire Company?
Just from American Fire. That's who we've been previously going with for the last couple of years.
What's the dollar amount?
For the administration building, it's $1,988. For the courthouse is $1,028. And for North County, is $1,061.85. In the jail, I forwarded to you guys already, I don't have that with me.
Is there any reason we didn't get any other quotes?
No, like I said, that's who we're going with.
We were just working off what we have
Yeah.
from what we're finding out, what companies did before. We really don't have a list of who prior did it.
And I believe we did have somewhat of a contract with them.
Are there other companies that do this?
There's Valley Fire.
Seems like we should do quotes.
Yeah.
When is this up? We still have a few months left, right?
I believe we have to the end of the year,
Yeah.
because they're overdue.
Yeah.
Well, can you put it out to bid and come back to us on the 27th with,
We just need quotes, right? We don't need bids.
yeah, quotes are fine.
I believe Lori Daly's working with someone out in the Expo Center that is from South Bend. They've had pretty good pricing, from what I understand. You might want to contact her if they're coming out. I think they're doing the jail, I believe, in the Expo Center. I'm not quite sure. There's a couple of them they're doing, but if they're coming out this way, it might make worth our time bundling it. Sound like a Comcast commercial, but to bundle it and then maybe make it worth their while when they're out here too. So there's another alternative person there too, so.
You know, something else might be worthwhile checking into. I don't believe that the qualifications to do these inspections are that great. Maybe somebody in our department could find out what the qualifications are and see if they could become certified to do that work, because I think it's a matter of looking at a valve and looking at a pipe and just checking the water pressure and making sure that it's the same at one end as it is at the other, and so if we can do that, we would be much more ahead of the game if we could pay for somebody to get the certification and do it in-house.
My only caveat to that, John, because I've been down that road before on our business, and we've always gone with a separate person just from a liability separation standpoint, is that put that firm that you're using right in the front row of the liability side. So I'm just bringing that up as an alternative to that, because if we take that on ourselves and there's a fire and something doesn't go right, guess what? So just throwing that out there.
Well, why don't we check into it, find out what the cost is?
Yeah, either way.
And see what the requirements are, if they're not that difficult.
Yep.
Typically, that something like that happens, they're gonna say it happened after their inspection anyway, so.
Question,
Yeah.
A lot of truth to that too.
quotes, do you want us to do a specific, like, multiple years, or just for this year? When it comes to the fire inspection, or do you want them to have a service contract to come up for multiple years?
Have them bid it either, if they say, we'll do it this year for X, if you take a 3-year contract, it's, Y, we'll look at it, whatever they want to bid.
See, that's all. Okay.
And maybe I'm reading this wrong, but it said the total cost of inspection is the $1,061.85, and the term of the contract is 3 years. So I don't know.
So that's that much each year, or is that much for 3 years?
That I don't know, to be honest with you.
Those are the kind of things we need to find out for the next go-round, and see if we can find out about that certification program and what's involved.
No.
I think it's each year.
Okay.
All righty? Anything else you guys got?
Thanks, guys.
Good job. I know you guys are trying to make ends meet and figure out what's what and everything, since it's new to a lot of that, so we appreciate it. Thank you. Allison, I saw you there nodding off. No, Juvenile Detention Director Allison Cox, about a grant agreement.
Yes.
Juvenile Accountability Block Grant.
Yeah.
I bet there's a lot of parents that like one of those.
Yeah, no kidding. For about 8 years, Judge Harper and I have had the honor of being involved at a statewide level to institute mental health screening on all kids going through juvenile detention center. Porter County joined, like I said, about 8 years ago, and Judge Harper and I have been working with the state, and like I said, to expand this across the state. What this grant does, it allows us to partner with the Youth Law Team of Indiana, who has sort of spearheaded that whole program. And what this grant will do is for us to allow us to continue to work with detention centers. I believe there's about 18 detention centers on board with the program in regards to mental health screening. We still have some to go. And so this 9-month grant will allow us to continue to work with the youth law team and on a statewide level in regards to the expansion of that program.
And who's going to administer the grant?
We will actually have the fiscal responsibility in regards to, setting up the line items, and then the youth law team will actually be doing the grant as a contract, and they would submit the bills to me, and then I would work with them in regards to any of the grant requirements and reporting.
Great. Questions? Hearing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
C.J. Whitmer, 911 Director, radio equipment from replaced fire radio system gifted to the town of Porter. Hey, C.J.
Good afternoon.
So, tell us about this.
Well, this would be equipment that was left over, I guess decommissioned, I should say, from the fire radio system that we replaced 2 years ago or so. Much of this equipment has been sitting in my back office since then, and I believe that John Jokanis, when he was still here, the director, had been approached originally by the town of Porter when they were merging their dispatch centers in with, or center in with Chesterton. They had some problems with their radio coverage. The north end of Porter, the Chesterton officers couldn't hear, and the south end of Chesterton, the Porter officers couldn't hear, and I guess they reached out knowing that we might have some equipment that they could use to see if the county would be willing to gift that to them to increase their radio coverage. This equipment, it's decommissioned. Some of it probably could be reprogrammed and used in our radio systems for sheriff or for EMA or for EMS if we had some problems with our own equipment. However, I still will have a reserve of, this doesn't give away all of our reserve equipment.
So we're kind of repurposing it and getting it out of your way. Questions? We should add, I think Porter Chesterton both have been very cooperative in trying to help us through the 911 maze and eventually becoming our backup for our main center so that we can keep it right here in Porter County rather than rely on local counties.
Right.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thanks, Steve. Okay, correspondence. We have on file the treasurer's monthly report for August 2015. We have a request from the Valparaiso Community Festivals and Events to use the courthouse grounds on Friday, October the 16th, 2015, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the Fall Harvest Festival and 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. for the trick-or-treating downtown.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have a request for approval from McKenna Schoen of the United Way for Porter County to hold its V131 annual Valparaiso Half Marathon. The race will be held on Sunday, October 25th, 2015, and will begin at 8:30 at the United Way, 951 East Port Center Drive. A route map has been included. David James, the Highway Director, and Sheriff's Department have been contacted. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. We have a request by Kurt Ellis on behalf of Lindsay O'Brien Kessling Wishing Tree Foundation to pass a resolution naming October 2015 as Carbon Monoxide Awareness and Prevention Month in Porter County, and to also assist in reaching a wider audience in Porter County with a CO awareness and prevention message by offering discounted CO detectors on the county's website and Facebook page.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Do you have a copy of the resolution, or do you want it read? Is it? Oh, we'll look right through this. Whereas carbon monoxide is produced by furnaces, common household appliances, vehicles, generators, fireplaces, and other systems that are powered by burning of fuel that include but not limited to natural gas, propane, gasoline, oil, wood, and whereas carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless poisonous gas that can be fatal when inhaled, and it is known as a silent killer because it cannot be seen, smelled, or tasted. And whereas carbon monoxide is the leading cause of accidental poisoning deaths in the United States, and whereas the Journal of American Medical Association has determined that carbon monoxide claims more than 2,000 lives each year, and whereas the American Association of Poison Control Centers has determined that there are 40,000 emergency room visits from suspected carbon monoxide poisoning and 20,000 health-related injuries each year, and whereas the Mayo Clinic has determined that 51% of all carbon monoxide poisoning cases reported involve children 6 years of age and under, and whereas Carbon Monoxide Health and Safety Association has determined that the combined medical cost of carbon monoxide accidents, lost productivity, and lost wages amounts to $8.8 billion per year, whereas the public education and awareness about carbon monoxide poisoning are critical to protecting residents of Porter County from the dangers of this deadly gas and the risk factors in their home, and whereas carbon monoxide alarms have been determined to be the most effective way to detect carbon monoxide, and there is a dramatic correlation between carbon monoxide alarm ordinances in cities and lower death rates from carbon monoxide. And whereas First Alert, a leader in residential fire and CO2 detection devices, in partnership with Lindsay O'Brien Kessling Wishing Tree Foundation, is offering 20% discount on selected models of carbon monoxide detectors. Now therefore be it resolved that the Porter County Board of Commissioners hereby recognizes and declares October as Carbon Monoxide Awareness and Prevention Month, and urges the residents of Porter County to become educated about the risk and prevention of carbon monoxide poisoning and consider installation of a carbon monoxide detector in their homes and businesses. Adopted this 6th day of October 2015 by the Porter County Board of Commissioners. See, I told you it was long.
Breathe in.
Okay. We have a request for approval from Beatrice Owen of the Porter County Substance Abuse Council to approve the release of $187,424.63 in drug-free community funds. Hi, Beatrice.
Hello?
And this is money that was,
Yeah, these are
given-
the monies that are collected from countermeasure fees, so the DUI convictions and also drug interdictions in the county. And we are the designated local coordinating council. The state has designated the Substance Abuse Council the LCC for Porter County. So those dollars are collected and held by the auditor until such time that the grants are chosen and recommended for this coming year. So we've got $187,000 that were collected, and we now want to grant fund those dollars out into the community. We've been approved by the state for the grants that are listed there, and there are 25 listed, so we're pretty excited about the ones that are there. So $187,424.63.
okay. I know in the past, when we have released the funding, it was always in the breakdown in which you were going to give it out. Are we still do that, or
Yes,
do we do it?
and that was included in the documentation there.
I'm sorry. Okay.
We've got the 4 different program areas.
Okay,
Yeah, so
very good.
monies to prevention education, to treatment intervention, law enforcement justice, and then the last one is for administrative.
Very good.
So I think it's 41,000, 46,000, 51,000, and then 46,000.
Got it. Questions? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. And then we have another request from you to hang the Red Ribbon banner in the rotunda of the County Administration Building for Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd through October 31st. They also wish to place red ribbons on trees around the administration building and the courthouse.
So moved.
Motion?
Second.
And a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks.
Great, thank you very much, and I'd also like to say thank you so much for letting us use the Expo Center for the Awareness Matters event. In August, it was fantastic.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a request for approval from Roger Getz of Getz Landscape to remove and replace dead trees and bushes at the county buildings. There's Roger. How you doing? Good. All the county buildings, the ones that, I know you do the expo, you do...
Yeah, the only one that we didn't need any special attention was the Opera House. But basically, we've been taking care of the buildings for 11 years now. And the landscaping eventually dies off.
Yeah.
Some of it does. And we went around and did an inventory of what needed to be replaced to bring it back up to full standards. And there's pictures, should be attached there. Also a couple of safety issues, a couple of liability issues, trip hazards, and we'll be taking care of those. Also doing some fertilizing to try and help some landscaping extend its life and last longer. So that's what the proposal's for.
Questions?
No?
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron.
We enjoy taking care of the county and making it look nice and all the different buildings.
We've had a number of comments favorable about it, and the thing that I'd like to thank you for is the way you handled the Expo Center when the ash borer beetle endangered every tree out there, and your wise counsel led us to plant the trees before we cut the other ones down, and many people didn't even notice that there was a difference. And those that didn't realize that there was such a thing called the ash borer beetle, so it was very good.
Early and ready to go.
Yeah.
Actually, I appreciate you guys having the wisdom to plan ahead and to see that also, and we'll continue to try and keep things advanced and looking out for making things look nice and continue to look that way. So
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robbie. Good to see you. A memorandum of agreement between Next Steps Motorcycling Academy and Porter County to use the North County Complex parking lot on Fridays from 5 until 8 and Saturdays from 8 until 2. This was approved at the Commissioners' meeting on the 15th, contingent upon Attorney Knight's approval.
Yes, I reviewed the document and it's acceptable.
Okey-dokey. Okay.
Do we need to vote on it again?
No, you're just executing the agreement.
Okay, so now we're just, for the record, noting that the attorney has made her approval known. We have a request for additional appropriation, Commissioners, Fund 1112-, .2092, $5,000 to account 2250, other supplies, to start the TNR program at the animal shelter.
Didn't we already do this too?
I don't think we made the motion for
We never did we talked about the appropriation. We weren't quite sure where we were going to get it from.
TNR, trap, neuter, and release.
I'll make the motion.
There's a motion.
Second.
There's a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, did I miss anything?
We did take it one more copy machine request.
Okay,
It wasn't turned in on time.
okay, Sharon, is that the company that wasn't turned in on time? Okay, why don't you evaluate it and let us know? We can't accept it, but, I mean, if it's a great big disparity, we'll consider rebidding, I guess, but it's got to be a pretty big discrepancy. Okay. You can just give them to her. We're not going to announce them.
All right.
Anybody? Nothing? Anybody want to address this body? Anybody? Gone. Plan Commission, we have rezoned R1 to industrial, institutional, from petitioners Valparaiso Community Schools, and this is second reading.
Correct, this is Plan Commission Resolution 15-10.
Valparaiso Community Schools, Heavenly Road Elementary School, requesting a zoning map amendment from R1 low-density single-family to IN institutional district. This is second reading.
Not as many people here today. Should we check them?
Funny, we're building a school, people don't usually complain.
I'll make the motion.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, David.
Lady. We'll go to school.
Okay, rezone R2 to institutional.
This is Plan Commission Resolution 15-11, petitioner of South Haven Church of the Nazarene, requesting a zoning map amendment from R2 medium-density single-family residential district to IN institutional district. This is second reading also.
Questions?
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carries. And now we have an ordinance relating to the Plan Commission building fees. This is first reading. So,
This is a proposal to increase the building, planning and zoning fees. Mainly the building permit fees, they have not been raised since an ordinance, I think it was in 2003, which took effect sometime in 2004, was the last time we have raised building permit fees. A lot of this is in reaction to the recent EPA and IDEM requirements on us for the soil erosion and the water quality issues. We've had to write a ordinance where we now review all plans for the soil erosion. Prior to this, we've had to rearrange some of our duties in the office as far as how permits are coming in. It's essentially added additional duties which we have to recoup our costs, bottom line.
again, I forwarded you an email in regard to one of the builder's objections to that, Bob, and I thought, I was trying to find it here, but it's not something that we're imposing to just make an extra cost on the builders. I mean, we understand that they're business people and they try to keep the costs as low as they can to try to make their customers pay less, and that's not a problem. The problem is that when we're mandated to do something, there's a cost associated with it, and we can't continue to absorb those costs. The one thing that I think really should be mentioned is that in the letter of objection I received, the contention was that most all the building occurs on lots 1 acre in size and larger, and in fact, that's not the case, is it?
That's not the case. Probably 75% of our permits that come in are on municipal services, which means they're less than a half acre. Which, to give you an idea, we've added an additional inspection. We actually go out, we added 2 additional inspections on this. One is that we go out prior to issuing the permit to see to it that all the soil erosion measures are up and in place. They have a gravel driveway in place. On this, again, it's for the water quality aspect that we're required to do. So that's an additional inspection at the beginning, and also at the very end, we go back out to make sure that it is landscaped or they have the soil erosion measures in place again. I do that inspection at the end. That's an additional one that has come at us because of these new laws that have been passed down to us on that. We did, just so you know, when we held a educational session for the builders and developers, we invited builders and developers in the spring or early summer to talk about these measures and this process on this, and one of the builders looked at us and said, "When's the fee increase coming?" And I said, "Well, I have no choice but to tell you soon." So we agreed that we were going to hold off at this meeting until January 1st for the builders.
Very good. Anybody else? Questions? Comments?
Yeah, Bob, the other thing I think to make clear, maybe everybody knows this, but these fees help pay the bills out of your department too, that's correct?
Correct. It pays everything.
It pays everything, right. So this is, as building and regulation increases, so does the manpower and so do the needs for your department too, so it's,
And our costs for running the office go up too, so we have to.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion and a second to pass the ordinance relating to the Plan Commission building fees. This will require, we gotta do a public hearing, don't we?
Yes.
Oh, time out. Open a public hearing into the ordinance relating to the Plan Commission building fees, and we'll give anyone who wishes to speak an opportunity to speak in favor or against the proposed ordinance, and we'll give you 2 minutes if you want to speak either direction. So, anyone wishing to speak in favor of the aforedescribed ordinance? Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this ordinance? Last time, anyone wishing to speak in favor of this ordinance? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this ordinance? Second time, anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this ordinance? Third and final time, anyone wishing to speak in favor of this ordinance? Public hearing is closed. Is there a motion?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. And again, we do have to have second reading because it involves a fee or collection of a fee. We cannot waive and do it right now.
October 27th.
Right, and as I mentioned, if passed on second reading, this will not take effect until January 1st.
Okay, very good. Okay. Anything else? Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Michelle, anything? No? Okay, good. Betty, do you have anything? No? No? Anybody?
Not even rusty after that vacation.
How about that? Okay, I guess we'll stand in recess.